Well, it looks like President Biden is having a tough time. He's losing support from the black community faster than melting ice cream in the desert. Apparently, there is only one black fella that still supports Joe Biden. That is his old pal, Corn Pop. And he's a bad dude.
The energy is really good. The energy is really, really strong. Kind of like this weekend when Donald Trump showed up to a F1 race in Miami. Donald Trump went and led the entire stadium in a USA chant in Miami. Got some incredible headlines. I love this style of campaigning for Donald Trump. You've seen Donald Trump campaign at Chick-fil-A's. Seen Donald Trump campaign at McDonald's in East Palestine, of all places. You've seen Donald Trump deliver pizzas to firefighters. He did this this weekend in New York. And now Donald Trump, like being kind of just the man of the people, just absorbing this moment and absorbing the energy and walking around these stadiums. Donald Trump congratulates Lando Norris, who's apparently a huge time racing guy. I will openly admit, I do not follow F1 racing, so I do not know. Apparently this guy's a massive superstar. And the McLaren teams in stunning Miami victory. Presidential candidate toured the McLaren garage. Just amazing photos here from the actual article. You can see Donald Trump talking with the driver right there with the MAGA hat on. Donald Trump leading the entire. I'm not sure. ALX, is this the clip of Trump leading the entire stadium in a USA chant? Because that is epic. Okay, yeah, this is the full supercut. Here we go. Donald Trump's day at F1. I love this style of campaigning. Like going and absorbing these things. Trump was at the World Series. Donald Trump has gone from obviously these huge fundraisers. Trump just raised $50 million in one night, like a couple weeks ago, to, again, Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, to like greasy pizza places in Manhattan. It's the man of the people. And Joe Biden could never, and we're going to explain why in just a second. Here we go. Donald Trump this weekend at the F1 Grand Prix.
We're voting for you. We're rooting.
Thank you.
You like to be.
Puts a tear in your eye, right? You're like, oh man, return. That's what we say. Return. That's what we say when we see those clips. You see that just the riz of Donald Trump. You know this term? The kids say riz. Kids say riz. We're a young company here. A lot of 20-year-olds work at our company. Riz is like a man's, like older generations would say moxie, right? Like they're a bit like a man's ability to attract people unto himself. All right, Donald Trump with the young blondes at the F1 race, and they're like, he talked to me. They're like crying and like wiping tears away from their makeups, their mascara's running because Donald Trump like talked to them. Yeah. You can see it obviously in the little moments like that. Trump leading the chants and the cheers. You can see it also in the statistics and the actual science of the polling, right? So it's like you can see it on a personal level. You can like see the anecdotal evidence, and then you can see the hard evidence. And this is why you'll never see Joe Biden at one of those events. Okay, I'm about to play you a clip from ABC News this weekend. Voters reveal whether they trust Biden or Trump in the most devastating corporate media clip you'll ever see. Okay, and I'm about to play you this in just a second, but I'm going to use this clip to explain why you'll never see Joe Biden at a stadium. Have you ever seen Joe Biden at a stadium? Anyone? You ever seen Joe Biden like walk into an arena, right? Like take the field or just any arena, anything. High school football game? Doesn't have to be the national championship. High school football game? Ever seen him? Nope. Nah? Oh, that's interesting. Why is that? Because Joe Biden isn't real. Nobody actually supports Joe Biden because Joe Biden would be booed. Because you know, and you know this in your heart, you know this. Let's say you're even like a super, like, let's say you're a Democrat watching this right now. Let's say you even like Joe Biden, or you're like one of those people who's like, I don't like Trump's style. It's brash. It's angry. You'd fare very badly in like the realm of politics, where brashness and anger and masculine energy actually get you things. Okay, Donald Trump actually got this country thing. You kind of have to be a baller. You kind of have to be a bit of an animal. All right, to like, politics is a war zone. It's a war zone. You want a general who's not like a sweet, kindly, degenerate, dementia-riddled old man. But here's all I'm trying to say here is, even if you are a like Democrat who's like kind of leaning and like checking out our show because you're like kind of leaning and you're like, I don't know, what do these people have to say? You're not cheering for Joe Biden. You know that Joe Biden wouldn't be cheered in a football stadium. If Joe Biden went to a high school football stadium all the way up to the Super Bowl, that Joe Biden would not be cheered for. Nobody would applaud for Joe Biden. That Joe Biden wouldn't be welcomed at these things. You don't see Joe Biden at these things because they know that Joe Biden would be savaged. That every person who comes up to Joe Biden, they wouldn't be crying their mascara out because Joe Biden touched them, right? The lady's like, he said hi to me. They'd be crying their mascara out because Joe Biden sniffed them. Joe Biden came up behind them. I was like, oh, Pantene Pro V? Very nice, one of my favorites. Is that the mango flavor? Oh, it's so creepy. They'd be crying for a very different reason. People cry when they meet Donald Trump because they are emotionally uplifted, because it is inspiring to meet Donald Trump, and it is exciting. People cry when they meet Joe Biden because it is scary and they feel violated. That's the difference. And so Joe Biden doesn't go to these big events because Joe Biden couldn't go to these big events because it'd be such a nightmare. When Joe Biden isn't even there, entire football stadiums chant FJB and Let's Go Brandon. Remember, the Let's Go Brandon chant was started at a race, was started at a NASCAR race, if I'm remembering correctly. And so that is why you will never, ever see Joe Biden at these events. It's also proven scientifically. You know, again, anecdotes. You get some blonde girl crying over Donald Trump. That's anecdotal. But you can see it now in the hard data. This is from ABC News, broadcast this weekend, how Joe Biden effectively isn't real. Joe Biden is no longer with us. Okay? The polls actually show this. You've never seen anything like it. Get ready. It's over. Watch.
And Biden seems to be struggling with key demographic groups that he would need to win, and win big, if he stands a chance of being reelected.
John, there is significant softness in the support for Joe Biden among core Democrats. In this poll, he's carrying black voters by 61 points. Well, that sounds like a lot, but he carried them by 84 points back in 2020. Latino voters, a very slight Biden edge in this poll, but it was a 21-point advantage in the exit polls back in 2020. And among younger voters under 30, we're actually seeing Trump with a slight edge. That was a big win for Biden last time around. It's particularly stark to see that difference among voters of color. Black voters under age 50, far less likely in this poll to say they're supporting Joe Biden than older black voters.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, okay, so Joe Biden has lost 20+% in his black support. He's lost 50% in Latino support, which is now at parity with Donald Trump, Latino support. And now he's winning with young voters. It's +5 with young voters. So we're finished. We're done. It's done. They called it a major softening of Joe Biden's electoral abilities. And I got to tell you, Joe Biden himself is majorly soft, very soft frontal lobe, very soft when you could see his puffy, weird face, released this weird video with Mark Hamill from Star Wars, and the continuing disgrace and destruction and dumpster fire of the Star Wars brand. Star Wars brand is effectively like a tire fire inside of a wastewater treatment plant, is roaring out of control. You can see Joe Biden's softness. In fact, the only thing that happens that's hard with Joe Biden is when he hits his face onto the stage as he falls and collapses over at the Air Force graduation. That's your commander-in-chief, folks. Yeah.